Well, tonight there are several new developments in Detroit's bankruptcy, making the city safer, and on the mob beating of a Clinton Township man.
Joining us with more insight on these stories tonight is our Detroit 2020 insider, Stephen Henderson.
Thanks for being here.
Absolutely.
Now, we have to quote you because you just posted in your column about the DIA art. Yeah. Let's repeat all together. Hands off our stuff, you soulless, greedy, scavenging vultures.
This is strong language. Every once in a while I'll do that. I can't do it every day.
It gets some attention. But let's talk about this DIA art first. Many people thought it was off the table, that a judge has made his decision and so on and so forth.
Well, he actually hasn't made a decision, but he did signal very early that he doesn't think these kinds of one-time sales and cash infusions are the way to get Detroit into better shape or to settle these debts. He wants to see more thoughtful proposals like this grand bargain that's taking shape, where the foundations are going to give a couple $100 million. The state is trying to work on contributing to that. I think that's much more in line with what he was talking about than just, you know, a fire sale of art out of the museum.
So I think in your article you're referring to maybe the Financial Guarantee Insurance Company as one of the greedy ones. They want to buy the DIA art for as much as $1 billion, or at least a Chinese collection, right?
Yeah, well, they've gone out and they've essentially said, well, what could we get for this stuff if we sold it, or if we forced the city to sell it, which is pretty presumptuous. I mean, no one asked them to do that. That's not part of the process.
And they don't own it after all.
And they do not own it. That's right. The city still does. They're clearly trying to get more out of the settlement than they're probably headed for, which is somewhere between 15 and 30 cents on the dollar. It's pretty low. They want more, and they think the museum is a way to try to get it.
And let's not forget, Oakland, Macomb County have already said, right, as far as our tax dollars and supporting the DIA, if it changes in terms of the art, stuff sold off, forget it.
Yeah, right. It would void those agreements, or they would try to void those agreements, and it would ruin the museum.
Right.
You can't sell art for profit in the museum world. So if the DIA did that, we wouldn't get exhibitions that tour around. We wouldn't be able to buy art anymore. It would make it an empty shell.
Okay, so let's move on to another issue. Do you think Mayor Duggan's plan to sort of embarrass homeowners, especially on the city's west side, if they're not taking care of that property, he's going to seize it, or he believes he will? I mean, do you think that will make people step up and take care of that property?
I think it will make some homeowners step up. And you look at the area that he's talking about, this was once the heart of middle-class Detroit, particularly middle-class African-American Detroit. Even when I was a kid, that area around Marygrove, this is brick homes, tree-lined streets, you know, very nice area that's deteriorated quite a bit. You've got to force people to take better care of things that they own. Now, a lot of those people don't have money to take care of their houses, and I think...
And a lot of people maybe don't own those houses. You've got absentee landlords who own these homes and are renting them.
That's right.
They're not taking
care of them. And so I think you want to have that stick in your pocket to say, if you don't do it, we are going to force you to do it or take it from you. But you're also going to have some carrots here. You're going to have to help some homeowners take better care of their property, and we haven't heard how he wants to do that.
I know even in the city of Southfield, though, if you don't take care of your property, they will come by and do it for you and then hand you the bill.
And hand you the bill, that's right.
And in Warren, if you don't cut the grass and whatnot, they'll do it and send you the bill.
Other communities have standards. I think what he's saying is we're going to have them in Detroit, too.
Another Mayor Duggan issue, equipping gas stations with video cameras.
Yeah.
To drive down crime, or at least to better apprehend individuals if they're engaging in that activity?
Yeah, I don't think it's a bad idea. If you go downtown Detroit right now, there are cameras on almost every corner. That Dan Gilbert owns a building, which is now almost every corner, right?
Absolutely. And it's making a difference.
It's making a difference. I think when people feel like they're being watched, there's better behavior. Now, of course, there's a civil liberties question there too, which is, do people have a right not to be watched? But I think in a public space, where you've got a crime problem, a demonstrable crime problem, I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
Especially when you think about all of the carjackings and even that elderly veteran who was beaten up, carjacked, and then he almost died, and he's trying to crawl into the gas station and people were just stepping over him.
Yeah, I mean, things are out of control in certain areas of the city, and you got to do something to get control. You're not going to have cops to send to sit on these corners, so you have a camera there.
All right, very good. Stephen, thank you very much.
Absolutely. Good to see you guys.
Stephen Henderson, our Detroit 2020 Insider, joining us tonight.